If you've ever smoked a pork butt, you know the problem. By day 3, you're sick of sandwiches, so now I smoke extra on purpose, because the best thing I've ever done with leftover pulled pork is put it on a pizza. The crust's a Poolish dough, an overnight ferment that does the work while you sleep. I shot the full method as its own video, dropping that next week. Links right below. Tonight we're here for the pizza. The name Poolish usually gets traced back to Polish bakers who spread this overnight method across Europe in the 1800s, before it caught on in France. You're using a 200-year-old shortcut for flavor, for texture, all those things come out of this dough. And it's just one simple step, equal parts water and flour and a little bit of yeast the night before. The pork butt leftover is from a butt I smoked low and slow yesterday. I cut it in half before smoking it for twice the bark in half the time, and the full method's linked right up there. Chop about 8 ounces. You want bite-sized, not shredded to mush. First thing I did, and the most important thing in that bark, is seasoning that up and putting it in the fridge for 1 to 3 days. This one went 3 days. And she got real smoky and real flavorful. After 6 hours of smoking, this pork butt is going to need to rest up good. So we're going to wrap it in some parchment paper and a couple layers of tinfoil and throw it in a cooler for 2 to 4 hours. That way all the moisture redistributes and the crust, oh man, you can see it breaking off there, all the flavor. You can see that this just smashed right apart. I just kind of peel that off with the knife. Pizza dough is a labor of love. Hands only, no rolling pin. A pin crushes out every gas bubble the Poolish spent all night building, and you'll end up with a dense, crackery crust instead of a light, airy one. I like to press mine down in the center and press all those bubbles out towards the edge. Then what I can do is let gravity and a little bit of pulling and stretching do the trick. You can see that I've built up the right amount of gluten in this dough because as I stretch it, it's not tearing. There's not holes. You can just about see through that. You can definitely see the light from my kitchen window through it. I'm going to just give that a little dust and I'm going to set that aside while we get ready to dress that up. I like to put a little bit of extra semolina on my pizza peel. I think that's important to help me get a good launch. I'm going to do 2 good spoonfuls of that delicious crushed tomato. And I'm going to do some dollops. You don't want to coat this completely. That's maybe a little overkill on the barbecue sauce, but that's okay. Fresh basil for me, and then I like to use whole milk, low moisture mozzarella. Not fresh. Fresh mozz weeps water and steams your toppings instead of letting them brown. Low moisture melts and actually colors up top. You'll see that here in just a moment. So the pork goes on, and then pepper and onion, sliced thin on purpose. We want those to caramelize a bit. They've only got a couple of minutes in a screaming hot oven, so any thick comes out raw and crunchy, while the crust's already done. And here's why the barbecue sauce goes on in dollops instead of as a base. Sugar starts to burn around 350 degrees, and this oven runs way past that. Those barbecue dollops are going to become sizzling hot little caramelized nuggets of goodness when that comes out. Into the gas oven, I typically set mine for 1,000 degrees, and when I'm finally firing the pizza, it's probably somewhere around 800 degrees.
Howdy.
How's it going?
Good.
I'll stay out of the video.
Oh, totally good. Thank you.
I'll stop by later for some
Yeah,
pizza.
we'll have a few extra slices. You too.
There's a very hot flame zone in the back, and if you let it sit on one side, it chars before the others even set. You're looking for that leopard spotting on the rim. set, blistered, not black. So keep this thing moving. I like to rotate mine every 15 to 20 seconds, give or take, just so I get a nice, even crust. And so the intent is never to actually burn the crust, but sometimes it does get a little bit of char on it. If you leave it in one place for too long, it's hard to get the toppings melted and all cooked at the same time as getting the bottom and the sides all cooked and melted at the same time. You'll see that I'm lifting the peel up a little bit there, and there we go. I always have to have a burnt edge, but look at that pizza. They all three turned out amazing using the same crust and the same dough, but just that one got the pulled pork. Hope you enjoyed the video.